Happy official offseason. The Texas Rangers, of all teams, are World Series champions.
The
And the
hell's that?
Padres are on the. What do you mean, what the hell's that?
Something's happening on my end.
Lord, Jim just moved. Help us. Jesus Christ. We're 2 seconds into the offseason. I already want to kill Jim. Are the Padres on the verge of hiring a manager? It could come as early as the next few days. John and Jim with you. It is the wrap-up show. Jim has moved. There's a lot to get into. There's the Padres managerial search. There's the Padres financial issues and how it could impact Juan Soto. By the way, congratulations to John and Jim. We hit 1 million views on the wrap-up show. Thank you to our viewers. We hit 1 million views all time on the wrap-up show on YouTube. Thanks to you guys, whether you're here live or on replay. Isn't that amazing? 1 million views in 2 years. Thanks to Padres fans and everyone that has been here, whether it's first time, you've been here 1 million times. Thank you guys for your longtime support of this channel. If you are here, please subscribe. Smash the like button for us. You can follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We appreciate your support. We'll get to every single super chat here tonight. Click the $ below the chat box. Also, if you want to become a member, click the join button down below. You'll get emojis and badges and more. There's a lot to get into. We should probably start with Jim moving. You kind of have a similar look, but so what's the issue? Why did you immediately be like, what's happening?
Our open started playing again. It was weird. It was kind of weird. But anyway, I have my own room now. I have my own room,
man.
I have my own studio.
I'm so jealous.
It's like in its infancy right now. It's coming together. I can't. If I turn this camera around, you would see a disaster. But everything in here, it's mine. I don't have to worry about anything else. I'm in my own studio, and we're good to go.
I'm so jealous.
I know.
So let's get to this. I mean, now that it is like the off season, and the Texas Rangers have won the World Series, and Bruce Bochy has his 4th World Series title. It really is remarkable. And there's so many like flat circle, time is a flat circle things. Bochy, former Padres winning a World Series, Chris Young overseeing the organization. It really is amazing. Kevin Acee reporting today that the Padres have interviewed Benji Gill. They have interviewed Mike Schilt. They have interviewed Ryan Flaherty. They're expected to interview at least 2 more in their search for a new manager. He also reported that the search for a manager could wrap up next week. So you got the GM meetings Monday in Arizona, Monday and Tuesday. You still have a couple days before that. So a hire could happen any day now. It could happen, I guess, this week, Jim, but potentially next week. But Benji Gill from Tijuana grew up in Chula Vista. WBC manager with Team Mexico. He has interviewed. He's an external candidate, and I think most still believe that it'll be either Mike Schilt or Ryan Flaherty as the next Padres manager.
I think it would be kind of a shock if it wasn't one of them, right? Like, these guys have been the front runners the whole time. They are in the building. Preller needs somebody that he can trust. He's going to need somebody that at times he could, not boss around, but like have the final say and not worry about someone pushing back on him like Bob did a lot of times this past season. And so Benji Gill, okay, does it excite me? It kind of does, but at the same time, like I said today on John and Jim, no matter who they hire, the second that they become the manager, it's a downgrade from Bob Melvin. So it's really hard for me to get excited about a downgrade from day one. They can prove everybody wrong, and especially me wrong, and go out there and not have any drama. And I think this will have a lot to do with Preller anyway. But go out there and win baseball games, right? No drama in the clubhouse, no drama behind the scenes, in the front office, between manager and general manager, and just go out and play good baseball and win baseball games. And then you're looking at like, okay, this feels good. It worked out. But from day one, the second that this manager gets hired, it's a downgrade from Bob Melvin. So with that being said, it's really hard for me to look at any candidate right now and be super excited about them when you know that it's pretty much across the board mean, you could make an argument for Mike Schilt if you wanted to, but Bob Melvin's been in this game as manager, 5 times as long as Mike Schilt's been a manager. That even makes sense. But it's to my point, it's like you got Bob Melvin, a 20-year guy. Mike Schilt, he's been a manager for 3 seasons. No one else that they've hired or they interviewed so far has been a manager in this game. So it's gonna be from day one a feeling of a downgrade.
The weird thing for me, and I agree with that, is that the Mike Schilt thing has a lot of questions that when you hire him, it would be one thing if he was hired from the Cardinals and he hadn't lost the job and like they took him away from the Cardinals like the Giants just did to the Padres with Melvin. If they had wooed him over after 3 consecutive playoff bursts, I think people would be generally very excited. But the truth is, we don't know why he left St. Louis after 2021. He has not been on the coaching staff the last 2 years. He's been more of an advisor. There have been times he's been on the staff, but he's also been an advisor to the Padres the last couple of years. He has not interviewed for any job in baseball in 22, 23, or 24, other than this Padres job right now in 2024. You have Flaherty, who's been on the staff since 2020. You've talked about this. He's your offensive coordinator. Your offense hasn't been very good. I mean, specifically in 2023. Benji Gill, I think the pedigree is a good one. Longtime major leaguer. Again, the Southern California and Mexico tie. Team WBC, Team Mexico manager in WBC. He's managed in Mexico as well. But again, when you're comparing to Bob Melvin, there's Phil Nevin, who's managed the last couple of years with the Angels, the former Padre, who may, in fact, interview for this job in the coming days. And then maybe there's a mystery candidate, because Kevin said they expect to interview.
There's always a mystery candidate with AJ.
Yeah, they expect to interview at least 2 more in their search for a new manager. One of them could be Nevin. Who's the other? And that's at least 2 more. And could there be an additional candidate that the Padres still bring in to interview? But I'm with you on Bob Melvin. I mean, you lost Bob Melvin in the division to a rival, and you're going to end up with someone that's going to have to prove it to the fan base and potentially to the clubhouse as well. And it's a bit of an uphill battle.
And especially, think about this now. You are now in a division where your potential, actually, I don't think potentially, you're going to have the worst manager in the division.
That'll be coming into the year, that'll be the perception.
Yes, coming into the year next year. Torey Lovullo, just coming off of a World Series appearance. Bob Melvin with the Giants. Dave Roberts with the Dodgers. And Bud Black with the Rockies. It's like 3/5 of the division has former Padres ties.
Right.
Crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah, you're going into next season with, at the start of the year, the worst manager in the division. Could change. You could become the best manager in the division if you win. But from day one, it's a downgrade from Melvin, and you have the worst manager in the division. So that's not really that reassuring to Padres fans, I feel like, and to everybody watching right now. Like, oh, yes, Ryan Flaherty. Yes, Benji Gill. Yes, Mike Schilt. They could all work. They could work out. They could. But at least right now from day one, you are a downgrade from Bob Melvin.
The Flaherty thing is by far the toughest sell. I mean, among that group, by far, you got this, would be a green rookie manager who has served as a hitting coach, offensive coordinator for a team that has not been among the better hitting teams in baseball, certainly not in 2023. And you replace Bob Melvin, the 20-year manager, with his pedigree and credentials with Ryan Flaherty. That in this clubhouse, which is arguably toxic and contains all kinds of dynamics to it, and Ryan Flaherty is supposed to navigate that when Bob Melvin couldn't, I could be sold on Mike Schilt. He managed a really good organization in the St. Louis Cardinals and had a level of success. And then the Benji Gill thing, it's like everyone loves the backup quarterback. I said that earlier this week. It's like what you don't know about Benji Gill is what you kind of like about Benji Gill as a manager. I don't know anything about him as a manager. He's managed a handful of games for Team Mexico. He's also managed in the Mexican League, and he's also been a coach for the Angels, and he was a successful player. To me, it's a much easier sell than Ryan Flaherty, but what you don't know is kind of what you like, in my opinion, about Benji Gill. What you do know about Mike Schilt, I think you like his pedigree as a manager and his success with St. Louis. I don't know how you sell Ryan Flaherty. We're trying to win the World Series, and Ryan Flaherty's this first-time manager, and Bob Melvin didn't have success, and now he's going to. man, that's an uphill battle for me with the fan base, with the clubhouse, with the perception of the organization.
Yeah, you just had Bochy, a guy that it sounds like you wanted to try to bring here, just win his 4th World Series. In his first year as manager of the Texas Rangers. So you go out and get Ryan Flaherty. Could it work? Yeah, could work. But man, that's coming off of this year, essentially letting Bob Melvin walk without trying to stop him at all. Very tough sell. And enough with the bullshit about, well, the Padres really wanted Bob Melvin to stay, and it looks like that the blah blah blah. Like, no, they wanted Bob Melvin gone. AJ did not want Bob Melvin here. They got lucky with the Giants. If the Giants have an opening, could he have returned? Potentially,
Maybe.
but it would have blown up in their face. And
Or maybe he's managing the Mets or the Brewers or some other team with a vacancy.
Really don't see Bob Melvin even if the Giants didn't have an opening. Like, give me a break. If you're going to believe everything that Bob Melvin and AJ Preller say publicly, then you're a sucker.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's get to some of these super chats, guys. If you're here live or on replay, we appreciate your support of the channel. If you're here live, thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. It is officially the baseball offseason. The Rangers are World Series champions, and the Padres are still looking for their first since joining the major leagues in 1969. They've got a managerial search. They have debt issues we're going to get into as well over the hour. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks. Richard, appreciate your super chat. As he always makes us aware, he's a Dodger fan, and he says to Jim's point, if AJ wants a person he can trust, somebody to be in lockstep, then AJ might as well put on the uniform himself. We've joked about that, by the way. Put yourself in the clubhouse, man. Put yourself in the uniform. It's not happening.
We jokingly say it, but it's kind of like, I don't know.
No chance in hell. Benji Gill would be a solid out-of-the-box hire. I agree with that. Again, is it Bob Melvin? No. Would he have a lot to prove? Of course. Would there be a learning curve? Probably. But compared with the candidates we've heard of so far, I think he holds up nicely to the candidates internally, Ryan Flaherty and Mike Schilt. He's been interviewed. Again, you and I think it's more of an optics move probably, and they'll ultimately go internal. But there's a lot of Benji Gill smoke around the organization, I would say, over the last couple of days.
Let me ask you this. Do you view any potential candidate right now that we know of on the same level as Jace Tingler?
Any potential candidate on the same level as Jace Tingler in terms of being like green and completely a wild card, fully out of the box? How on earth did you hire this manager?
Yes.
That would no, I would say that Tingler in terms of ambiguity is even beyond Ryan Flaherty because of his ties to the organization the last 4 years. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. I think the thing that Flaherty had that Tingler never had was he played in the big leagues.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a big thing. It's a big thing. I know Mike Schilt never played in the big leagues. Correct me if I'm wrong.
But he's already managed, right?
Managed, and he's won manager of the year, and he's been in the postseason 3 times. I believe 3 times, right?
Yeah, 3 straight years.
Benji Gill, he played a little bit in the big leagues. So that is already a step up from Tingler as well.
A lot in the big leagues, Benji Gill.
Yeah.
Probably a 10-year career.
It's a little bit.
Right? I'll look it up, but that's how it was a while.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like
8 years.
Okay. So there's no potential candidate out there that is like that we know of as of right now. There's always the mystery candidate that AJ Preller could throw out there.
There's no potential,
and I would like that.
Yep.
But I mean, just the random, like, who the fuck is that guy?
Your mic, by the way, occasionally has been like cut in and out. It does not Wi-Fi, like the mic itself. It doesn't have to do with your internet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're fine, but it's cut out twice, just for a split second, like a cord thing.
Whatever. Sorry.
All right, let's get to the super. You're fine. I just wanted to let you know. Just cut out a couple times. Tim, thanks for the super. Really do appreciate it. If you're here, thank you for subscribing. If you're here, thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. He said, "Could Benji be a play at Otani?" Man, talk about outside the box. No, I don't see it like that. I mean, that is such. I love the idea. To me, that's really a reach to go hire someone in the, this I don't know, one in whatever chance of going to land Shohei Otani. We'll get into the Padres' financial issues, but considering they do have financial issues, I just don't see how they make a realistic play off an 82-80 season for Shohei Otani, and I don't see what role Benji Gill could have in it. I don't know anything about the relationship, but you're talking about a $500 million investment, and I just don't see what role Benji Gill plays in that for the Padres.
Do you think Otani's like, hey, Benji Gill just got hired by the Padres?
Yeah, and Benji Gill's going to be there 2 years, but Otani might sign a 10-year deal.
Yeah, Benji Gill's not going to be here for that long. I don't feel like any of these managers are going to be here for that long, to be honest with you.
Probably not.
Because once Preller goes, the manager goes with him.
Right, so it could be 1 year.
Right. So, do you think Benji Gill's like, all right, guys, I'm going to go to my
I
interview.
got his phone number.
I got his phone number. He's talking to Preller. He's like, dude, look, trust me. We can get Otani.
I know him.
I know
We're
him.
friends.
I've talked to him a couple times.
Like, do I trust Benji Gill to land Shohei Otani when Benji Gill isn't the one with the $50 million loan payments? You know what I mean? Like, Benji Gill doesn't understand the economics of the organization today, and that's not his fault. Shoot, you could even argue, Jim, if Shohei Otani, I'll give you a theoretical, Shohei Otani is seriously considering San Diego, but can San Diego even afford him? I mean, how much movement would you need to have to lock up Shohei Otani and pay for whatever he's going to be owed? I mean, if he's going to be making $40+ million a year and they have to lower payroll $50 million, we'll get all into this. I don't see it as realistic. Shohei Otani has said he wants to play for a winner. That's something he did not do in Anaheim. And the Padres have not proven to be a consistent winner for Otani, in my opinion, to make the leap of faith to go to San Diego. And I think a lot of people agree with that. We'll see his name rumored to San Diego, Jim. I promise you that. He'll be in articles. Preller, the ultimate joker or wild card, and put nothing past AJ Preller. You're going to see that. But I don't see that as realistic. I just don't.
I was just about to say, the Otani to the Padres rumors feels like it's kind of died out a little bit.
We're going to have videos on it. You know it.
I know. We're going to get that. They're going to get that one.
Bob Nightingale,
whatever. And then we have to talk about it. And it's like, really? We're dealing with debt reduction and selling off parts of the franchise, but we're really going to have to talk about a Shohei Otani. And it would be even crazier if we're talking about Shohei Otani and they trade Juan Soto because they can't afford him.
Right. That's a very good point. All right, let me get to another super chat that has rolled in here this evening. Let's see here. This is from James, loyal viewer. James, thank you, James, for your support of the channel and the super chat. He says, Flaherty as manager equals new offensive coordinator. Good point. It's like if you elevate Flaherty, you get someone new to work with the position players. That's my reason to not elevate Ruben Niebla, by the way. And whatever happened to that rumored interview? Because Kevin said there's been 3 interviews, but not Ruben Niebla. But he was rumored to be a candidate to interview. But I'm not hiring Ruben Niebla because I don't want to hire a new pitching coach, because I think he's the top 5 pitching coach.
I think, honestly, it's just a due diligence thing. Like, hey, he's in the building. Let's just talk to him.
Right.
You know, nothing there. I mean, you saw that with the Giants recently. I think they interviewed a couple in-house candidates. I think the Mets have done the same thing. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the Guardians have.
Like, out of respect almost for people that are in the organization that you want to retain.
Like, hey, we're going to give you an opportunity. And it's a thing to put on a resume. Like, hey, I got interviewed for this job to be the manager here. And
true.
So
I was a candidate.
I was a candidate. Yeah. And Ruben Niebla is, I think, highly respected in the organization. He was the first guy that was hired by Preller after the debacle of 2021.
A great hire, to be fair, to AJ Preller.
Yeah.
You know, one of the better hires he's made in regards to coaching or managing. They got to retain him. I would say that. I mean, I don't know. It appears likely. It appears as if, again, appearing as if he would return. I don't know if something could change that. But you lose Ruben Niebla plus Bob Melvin, and you got even more issues. And Ruben Niebla is probably a bigger loss than Bob Melvin at the end of the day, if that happens, is the way I look at it.
I would agree with that.
Okay, we're going to get back to the chat in a moment. If you're here, subscribe. If you're here, thank you for your support of the channel with the super chats. They are greatly appreciated. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks. We do want to remind you about our title sponsor again. Mark Nimitz has been with us for all 1 million of the views the Wrap Up Show YouTube channel has received over the last 2 years. Thank you guys for your long-time support of this channel, whether you're here for a first time or you've been here since day one. Thank you for your support. We can't do it without you. We can't do it without the support of our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Whatever your insurance need is, let Mark help. Take it from us. I've got a homeowner's life insurance, earthquake insurance policy through Mark. He can save you $750 or more just by switching over your insurance. He's a great insurance agent. When I had to file a claim in here last year, he took care of everything, saved my family thousands of dollars and dozens of hours of time. He's just such a good insurance agent. He's a native San Diegan, a lifelong Padres fan, and his website is on screen right now. Now, you can click the link in the description down below to get to Mark's website, and you can get free online quotes, or you can just call Mark, and he'll talk to you about the Padres offseason. He'll talk to you about how he can save you money on your insurance. And again, once you switch over to Mark, he's going to take care of everything for you. So if you support this channel, please support our local partners, including our title sponsor on the Wrap-Up Show, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, all his information is above my head, mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to him, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
All right. So this story broke this afternoon, probably an hour before we went on the air, John and Jim, if not less than an hour. A story from Evan Drelich, Dennis Lin, and Ken Rosenthal in The Athletic, which some of our listeners deemed a hit piece. I don't see it like that at all. It's just a factual representation of what's going on right now with the organization and their financials. The title is this: Padres recently took out a $50 million loan to help cover payroll. Now, the story does go on to say there are other teams in baseball that have taken out loans to help cover expenses and payroll. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 1/3 or 1/4 of Major League Baseball teams take out loans due to similar, I don't know, issues or dynamics at play within the organization. But the article details the fact that the Padres have taken out a loan, and that the Padres, according to Evan Drelich and others that wrote this article, Jim, need to lower payroll. It's expected, and it could impact their pursuit of Juan Soto, whether he stays or goes in 2024 or beyond.
Yeah, I think I view the article as it's not as bad as some people might think, and it's also not as great as some people may perceive. Like, oh, this is nothing. I think it's something. I don't think it's just like nothing. But I also don't think it's this like, like doomsday scenario. Like, holy shit, here we go. Selling off the franchise. But it's not good when you have a $250 million payroll and you need to have loans. Like, I don't know if the Yankees are asking for loans. I don't know if the Mets are asking for loans. I'm sure the teams that are asking for loans are like, the bottom feeders, right? Like the teams that aren't, putting out 180, $200 million payrolls, right? I just don't see that. Just don't see it. But the Padres aren't a bottom feeder anymore. Like, they're an upper echelon payroll team. So to be one of the teams, like, I would be curious to see exactly how many teams have asked for loans. And that would give me a better picture of like this whole situation. Because if I looked and there's like 13 teams in baseball getting loans, and Padres are mixed in with like the Royals, the A's, the Pirates, the Rockies, you know what I mean? Then it's like, okay, this is kind of an issue. But until I know exactly what teams are doing it and getting loans, then I view it as it's just a treading water type of situation. They're not drowning, they're not thriving, they're just kind of there at like baseline.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that information. I want to say there was a line about it not being, they're not a one-off, and that there's other teams that also take out loans as part of like their normal processing. What made it unique in reading this article, or what makes the Padres unique, is that they're bottom 10 in market. Okay. That's a whole nother conversation, but whatever. The Athletic says they're bottom 10 in market. You take that for what it's worth, but they're top 3 in spending. And that makes the Padres unique. And then people are like, why are you singling out the Padres? There's other teams that have taken out loans. The Padres are unique because they've gone all in, unlike any team basically in the history of Major League Baseball, from their market size. We've talked about this for years. Peter Seidler is spending well beyond most clubs in a similar spot, right? He's been criticized by other owners. I've called him like persona non grata with other owners, or public enemy number one of small market teams. So that's, I think, what makes it unique. I'll try to find the line in here because I know it's in here that they're not the only team to take out a loan. But I will say this, Jim, they requested a $100 million loan and Major League Baseball said no because I guess debt ratio or whatever it is. And they were granted $50 million, but they requested more. They tried to take out $100 million. They were granted 50.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It's kind of like it's a little bit of like, okay, we'll see how it really impacts this team. If this offseason turns into they trade Juan Soto, they don't really sign anybody. They maybe make one trade for a pitcher, and then they're like bringing up Jackson Merrill next year, and they have pitchers in the system that are coming up to take, spots in the rotation, and you're like, okay, they're really cracking down on spending any type of money.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, they could completely crack down on spending money, and most believe they could just be shedding money. I mean, there's the general belief, and it's written in here, that the payroll's going down $50 million next year, and because of that, and Evan Drellich wrote it today, and Dennis and Ken, that he wrote that it's unlikely that the Padres extend Juan Soto. So that's now beginning. Like, the reality is hitting us now square in the face. Like, you're either trading Juan Soto or you're trying to catch lightning in a bottle in 2024. Because if your payroll's coming down and everyone's reporting it's unlikely you're going to sign Juan Soto, then you got two options. You're moving them or you're all in 2024. I prefer the latter. Go all in on 2024, worry about the repercussions or the consequences on the other side. But it's hard to envision right now, Jim, based on everything that we know, that Juan Soto is going to sign some $440 million deal to remain a San Diego Padre when the Padres are trying to lower their payroll.
Yeah, I know. You have these guys here for the long haul. I don't know how this is going to change. There's no easy fix here at all. So the TV deal is interesting, not having that. It's going to be just a very, and the GM meetings start on Monday. Free agency starts now. What's the date? The 1st? The 6th. So November 6th, next week, free agency officially starts. Baseball winter meetings in Nashville are beginning of December, I want to say.
Yep. 12/5.
12/5. And then, we're going to hit January, and that's going to be kind of a little bit of a dead month, I feel like. And then February, boom, pitchers and catchers, and we're right back in this thing.
I think someone said today is 140 days till they open in Korea. It's not that far off. I mean, 4.5 months until they open in Korea, March 20th. Of course, that's early. Then you got Manny Machado's situation with his health. Is he going to be available to you March 20th or even a week later when you play the Giants? The Giants of all teams come here to open the season with Bob Melvin, and who the hell knows who else is on that team. Let's get back to some of these supers that have been rolling in. I apologize, we're late on a couple. Alex, thank you for the super chat, guys. If you're here, subscribe. Thank you for the super chat. Just click the $ below the chat box if you want to support. Alex says, I can see Nevin or Gil still be on staff in 2024. I guess that's a possibility. I don't know about either or both or one or the other, but is it a possibility that one of those two would be on a staff in 2024? Yeah, the staff's probably going to look completely different based on who they hire here in the coming days.
If they pulled, okay. One, I don't see Phil Nevin coming here at all.
Sure.
Don't. Two, think about this scenario, all right? Say they hire Mike Schilt, all right? Ryan Flaherty, is he still going to be on the staff after he was viewed as a top candidate to be the manager?
I don't know what other options he's going to have.
And if they bring in Benji Gill, who they interviewed to be manager as well, is he going to be on the staff? Because now you know what you have, right? You have any given moment, if they're not getting the job done, boom, step in Ryan Flaherty, boom, step in Benji Gill.
Right.
And that's going to be talked about. And it was already happening this past year with Ryan Flaherty on the staff.
Mm-hmm.
The reports of back in like August of like Bob Melvin is possibly going to leave and a top candidate's Ryan Flaherty. Like Ryan Flaherty's been a top candidate to be a manager on this team since August when they were technically still in it, even though it was just a shitty year. But, so imagine instead you had one guy on your staff last year who was viewed as a potential replacement for Bob Melvin. Imagine having two on the staff as a potential replacement for whoever the hell the manager is next. I don't know how that dynamic would
with
work.
a potential like lame duck general manager if you don't play good baseball.
Yeah, I just don't know
if
how
lame
that
duck's
would
the
work.
right word, but yeah, no, I agree. The staff's gonna be
order, man.
Yeah,
you can't have people backstabbing. You can't have that shit.
And the staff's gonna be all new, man. I mean, I guess if it's Schild or Flaherty, maybe not. If it's anyone else, it's gonna be all new again.
I honestly like if you got rid of Bob. Bob's gonna take probably Ryan Christensen and
Matt Williams.
Matt Williams. Ryan Christensen can now do his fancy lineup cards in San Francisco. The Giants.
They're very fancy, yeah.
Very fancy. But I honestly would blow everybody out except for Ruben Niebla. Like Flaherty, you've done nothing with this offense in 3 seasons. You're gone. Ben Fritz, bullpen coach, he can stay, whatever. Who else? I don't know. Everybody gone. Just get rid of everybody except for Ruben Niebla, and don't bring anybody back at all.
Okay, so Ryan Christensen, he's going to go. Oscar Bernard, assistant hitting coach, stay or go?
Gone.
Scott Coolbaugh, assistant hitting coach, stay or go?
Gone.
Niebla, stay or go?
Stay.
Of course. David Macias,
Gone.
first base coach.
Gone.
Matt Williams, he'll be gone.
He's gone.
Ben Fritz, I'm with you. I think he could stay.
Yeah,
and he was the pitching coach briefly, right, when they fired whomever was the previous pitching coach.
Larry Rothschild.
Yeah. Brian Esposito, catching coach. I don't know anything about Brian Esposito. Peter Somerville, game planning and coaching assistant. You want him to stay or go?
Gone.
Did I say Alberto Andrade, bullpen catcher? He can stay.
He can stay.
Brian Price, senior advisor to the Major League coaching staff.
Gone.
Mike Schilt, senior advisor to player development in the major leagues.
If he's not hired as manager, gone.
Bye-bye. Morgan Burkhart, Major League batting practice and hitting instructor.
any person involved in hitting with this organization,
hitting the ball,
gone. Like they're gone. But the problem is, like, Preller never gets that right, ever. He's been pretty good with pitching coaches. I mean, Larry Rothschild was standing; it was pretty bad. Yeah. But like, it's just a shit show. But other than that, like anybody involved in the hitting side of baseball, you're gone.
They're going to run out of people to hire. I mean, who's coming here? Alex, thank you again. He says AJ is the high maintenance girlfriend with Seidler. I'm trying to think about this analogy. He's the high maintenance girlfriend. Is AJ a high maintenance girlfriend? He's a bit high maintenance. He's calling. He's asking. He's critiquing. He's setting
the
up
girlfriend
meetings.
That like legitimately is always texting you and calling you. And like, do you still love me?
Like, chill. You're like, chill.
Like, yes, I fucking stop. Like,
we don't need to text 200 times a day.
Or like, hey, I have an idea. What should we do? It's like, it's 3 a.m. I want to sleep.
Yeah. Let's December 19th. Can we plan a trip to Palm Springs? Relax. We'll figure it out in the morning.
Yeah. I think a lot of this past year, Bob just didn't want to deal with it. Like, he's just like, dude, I'm with family. Like, I'm sleeping or I'm doing something else. Like, AJ, it works smarter, not harder. Okay. And I'm already annoyed with you in the first place. And I don't really like you that much. So stop texting me and calling me.
Preller is a spoiled silver spoon child of Peter who keeps crashing $100,000 cars, but Peter keeps buying him new ones. That's a good analogy.
I
Yeah,
was
we
thinking about
talked
this
about that
today,
today. Yeah.
and we're talking about we've talked about this a lot. Like, whose fault is it? It's everybody's fault.
Yeah.
But you know, if Jones, when he gets older,
Mm-hmm.
goes out and he constantly gets in trouble. Just whatever he does, he comes home. He's like, "Oh, I got in trouble here, got in trouble there,"
Right.
and you still allow him to go, like, do whatever.
Then you're like the enabler.
Then you're the enabler, and it's
Right.
like, at what point are you going to nip this thing in the butt and say, "This is unacceptable"?
I know. I
And
said that.
I know I've said it too,
I know. We both have.
but at the same time, Jones would also be to blame for causing
Sure.
mischief or
Exactly.
problems.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
Yep.
not blameless in this thing. Same thing with
Right.
Preller.
Right.
Preller's not blameless. Like, if he's given the keys to the car and he goes out and crashes it constantly, like, whose fault is that? He crashed the car. Like, that's what Preller's doing. He's given the keys to the car, and it's just not working out. But hey, he's gonna get another opportunity, and I'm fat. I am a like I'm in a just sit back and watch what happens. It is going to be fascinating to see how this offseason plans out.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it's not as interesting as I think Padres fans or you or I hope it to be. Maybe it will be.
Probably not.
Maybe they'll make wholesale change in an effort to put themselves in a better position, short and long term, or maybe they'll just take that stack of chips they still have. It's not as big as they previously had, but they'll still take that stack and say, let's just do it again. We got Soto for 2024. Our core pieces return. They just have to play better. And let's go build around this core with a bunch of unsexy moves that potentially are beneficial. But it's like, okay, new manager, Juan Soto's future, expensive core, and a lower payroll in a division with a team that was in the World Series, a team that spends like crazy and is all in on spending in the Dodgers, a team that spends like crazy. You would think in the future, the Giants, who just went all in on Bob Melvin. I mean, just think about your division and the trickiness of that putt with the Dodgers, who you haven't beaten in the division in forever, with the Giants, who have been down but are seriously committed just based on their actions here. And then Arizona. I mean, is it a little bit of a, one in a whatever, a lightning in a bottle season? Maybe it is, but they've got a good young core, and I would expect their spending to go up based on them getting to a World Series here this year. So Jim, I wouldn't be shocked if the Padres finished anywhere from second to fourth next year in the NL West. None of that would shock me. What would shock me is if they finished in first place, and what would shock me is if they finished in fifth place. Anything else would not surprise me.
Yeah, you feel like with the Giants, they're not gonna go and get Bob Melvin and not spend in the offseason.
No way. No way.
Like, there's no possible way they're gonna ride into next year with like Jock Peterson as their cleanup hitter.
Yeah, we saved. We're good for 2025. No, they're in it for Otani. They're in it for Snell. They're in it for now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's like.
And by the way, so are the Dodgers.
Yeah, you don't think there's going to be a little bit of a bidding war for Otani?
Good point. And it could be with those two clubs.
He won't be pitching, but he's still one of the best hitters in the game.
And he will be pitching at some point, not 2024 probably, but in the future.
You're looking at a scenario, doomsday scenario, of Blake Snell going to either like the Dodgers or the Giants,
and the other going the other,
and pairing them with Otani, and then in 2 years, you're looking at a rotation of facing off against Snell and Otani. How many times a year in your division?
Well, since
12.
Yeah,
I know it's a more balanced schedule, but still, those prospects, if you're a Padres fan, and I don't think those are really good.
I agree with you.
And you're stuck with a 40-year-old Yu Darvish, Musgrove. I like Musgrove, but then an aging Manny, an aging Bogarts, probably no Soto. Yeah.
Tatis better have a 1,300 OPS. Guys, we're going to get back to the conversation in a moment. We did 1,300. Yeah, he's going to have like a 70 home run season.
Right.
We'll get back to the conversation in a moment. Again, if you're here, thank you for your support of the channel. Thank you of your support. I can't even talk. For our longtime partners,
Okay.
including Aura here on the Wrap-Up Show. We've been talking with their co-founder, Will, throughout the course of the day. Aura is a great, great company and a longtime supporter here of the Wrap-Up Show on YouTube. Whatever your health needs are, they have it for you with their plant-based nutritional supplements. Okay. If you're looking to get healthier, it starts with our friends at Aura, ora.organic, or click the link in the description down below. I've been taking their probiotic for maybe 2 years at this point. It's an amazing product. I take it every single day for digestion. You can take it for your heart health. You can take it for your mental health and more. Just Google probiotic benefits. And it's a good reason right now to go over to ora.organic and pick one up. They have proteins for after workouts. They have pre-workout supplements. They have omega-3 oils. If you're taking fish oils, take the omega-3 oil. It's plant-based, same health benefits from our friends at Aura. They have sleep pills, immunity pills, and much more. Okay, shop as you watch the Wrap-Up Show. You can browse at ora.organic or click the link down below. But again, if you support this channel, please support a local business. Will is a San Diegan, lifelong Padres fan. Aura has offices at Liberty Station right here in San Diego. Great company that supports our work and our channel. If you want to support our work, if you want to get healthier, check them out. Click that link in the description down below or go to ora.organic.
Yeah, we were talking with Will tonight, and go and support Will. He supports us. Please support our sponsors. Support him. www.ora.organic. If you want to, start taking some supplements, but you don't know where to start at, Aura is the best place for you. www.ora.organic, and check out their supplements and pick some up, and you'll thank us later.
So the interesting dates ahead, like you said, you've got the managerial hire, Kevin said, could occur within the next week, Kevin AC. You have GM meetings where AJ Preller could be quoted and could speak publicly. I would assume he typically would at a GM meeting. I don't know if Marty from 760 will potentially be there. She has previously.
She'll try.
I don't know if she would travel for that or not. I think she has previously. I think she was in Vegas at one point, or Phoenix. So that's a 2-day meeting. And then, like you said, you're days away from free agency beginning. You got some determinations on players that are with options, right? The Lugos and the Wakas. So player options to figure out in the days ahead. We're going to get a lot of Padres news, I would say, in the next 7 to 10 days. GM meetings, manager, player options, free agency. You're going to get news. I know the season just ended literally hours ago here with the World Series for the Padres. It's been about a month, but we're going to get news. It's been a little slow here, I think, for Padres fans because we didn't see this team in the postseason, but I think we're going to get news, and a lot of it, I would say, in the next 7 or 10 days.
I would agree with that. Once the World Series ends, it's like, okay, November and then all December, I feel like everyone's on a high alert. Right? Doesn't it feel that way?
Mm-hmm.
And then January hits, and it's like
it's slow.
It's very slow. Especially now in baseball, they want all of the major signings to happen around the winter meetings.
I hope that happens this year.
December. When was Bogarts last year? Do you remember?
It was like either at the winter meetings or a day or two later, right?
Yeah, it was around the winter. So it was in December.
Yeah.
It was early December. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I can't. The last time some big name free agent dragged out close to the season was Manny and Harper, I feel like.
Manny and Harper. Yeah, that was into like March. Yeah, that seemed routine for a little while, that was going on for a couple of years. But yeah, you're right. It feels like it's been expedited over the last year or two. I hope that continues.
Because I remember one of the first moves that were made this past offseason was DeGrom to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Helped him win a World Series.
That really paid off.
Really did. It did. Like, who cares? Nobody gives a shit about
Doesn't matter,
DeGrom.
man.
Doesn't matter. Hey, $40 million down the tank, World Series champions. Yeah, so the next 2 months are going to ramp it up.
Ramp it up. I do like that. All right, let me get to the super that just rolled in from our buddy JD Gotcha. Thank you, JD Gotcha. Appreciate you hanging out during our John and Jim show. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to John and Jim, please do that.
And like this video, by the way, we've got over 160 people in here. Everybody should like this video. Don't worry, we can't see who liked it. whatever. So you don't have to worry. You
Is that
can,
why some people don't like videos, you think? Because they think that we, like, see the data?
yeah. And it's anonymity. I can't even say the word.
Anonymity.
Anonymity. Yes. You can't see who likes the video. I pretty sure of that. So
Well, we can't. I mean, maybe
we
YouTube
can.
can, but we can't
Well,
see it.
it's like an algorithm thing for whoever likes it. So
Right, so if you work for the Padres, you can still like it. If you work for a
it's
radio
okay.
station competitor, you can still like it.
Yeah, it's okay. You can also dislike it, I'm sure, if
Correct.
whatever. But
Exactly.
just please, just all we ask, just like the video and subscribe.
Yeah, that's all we ask, among a million other things. JD Castro, thank you, says, what about hiring Michael Young as hitting coach, former AL batting champ? I mean, what's he doing?
He's celebrating the World Series with the Rangers. I'm sure he's
But
part
here's
of
the
the
thing,
front office or something.
just because you have, and listen, I don't hate the idea of it at all, but like just because you've been a batting champ doesn't mean you can teach hitting.
T-
Okay, there's a
Yeah,
zillion examples of this. I mean, a zillion across all sports. Steph Curry might be the greatest shooter in the history of the NBA. That doesn't mean he's a great coach. He could be, but it doesn't mean he's a great shooting coach just because he can shoot.
was
Right? I
Barry
mean, there's
Bonds.
so many examples of this.
Barry Bonds, one of the best hitters of all time. Was he a good hitting coach with like the Marlins? I think he was
Probably not.
okay,
Yeah.
but
But like Ryan Sandberg's one of the greatest players in modern baseball, and he wasn't regarded as the greatest manager, even though he was a great player.
mhm, yeah,
And there's a lot of examples of this, as we know. So, I mean, I do like credentials of someone that has hit at a high level. I think there's something to be said for that.
yeah.
But
Because usually like and Quan makes a good point. Like Tony Gwynn was a really good like, like hitting instructor, and he taught a lot at San Diego State. Obviously he's the coach there, duh. But like
sure,
he taught a lot of kids the fundamentals of hitting, and I thought he was a good teacher. Like if you ever
yeah,
watch a Tony
and
Gwynn
he,
instructional video, you're
no
like,
doubt,
holy shit.
and he had a lot of players that were drafted and got to the big leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. But again, did I mean? But my point is, and maybe this is unfair, but like just because Tony Gwynn had the greatest eye, like in baseball history, didn't mean he could then teach that exact same regimen. Like Tony Gwynn wasn't creating other players at his caliber. That's impossible to do, right? Like he's a one in a million type player.
Mhm.
Not to say it can't be done. I'm not discounting it. To your point, Tony Gwynn was a successful collegiate coach at San Diego State and developed a lot of really good players. I think it's a very good point, but I'm just saying it's not some guarantee. I do like the credentials of bringing someone in with credentials. I think there's something to be said for that as a possibility. I just don't. I don't know if that's on the horizon or not.
Mhm. I don't know.
Um, Yeah, I remember Quan saying that. Tony Gwynn even said, um, his hitting eye was so good, it was hard for him to teach it. Yeah, like, wouldn't it be? I'm just like theorizing this for 1 second. Like, if you're Tony Gwynn, if you're Ryan Sandberg, if you're one of the great, if you're Barry Bonds, like what comes easy to you must be frustrating when you try to use that same knowledge base and
Yeah.
teaching and it doesn't come to others.
You're like, just do this, and they can't
Just
do
go
it.
the other way.
Just go the other
Just
way.
right, you know what I'm saying? Just see the
Yeah.
ball through the zone.
Hey, what are you doing?
Right?
Just slap it the other way.
Yeah, exactly,
Like, are you
like,
fucking kidding me right now?
something that you could do for 25 years, falling out of bed, other guys spend their whole lives trying to replicate and don't get close.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's tough.
imagine that's gotta be almost frustrating.
Oh,
To
totally. I would think
you
it's
know?
frustrating.
Yeah, like, Barry Bonds is a one of one. Tony Gwynn's a one of one.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it, I would think, difficult. And a lot of times those type of former players don't necessarily want to manage. I mean, how many former Hall of Fame players are managing? How many former Hall of Fame players have ever managed? A couple is the answer.
Some of the best managers in the game were never the best players.
Exactly. There's the point. That's exactly right.
Boch,
Yeah, like Melvin was not the
Bob,
best. Yeah, exactly.
you just name there's just a couple. Like I
Yeah.
think Skip's a good he was a fine player. He's a good manager. Craig Counsell was actually a pretty good player, honestly. He wasn't like the
Yeah, no
greatest
doubt.
player,
No, he
but he
was a
was a
very
good
good
player.
player. Mhm.
You know, so yeah, they're just managers sometimes, not the best players in the sport, but they could be really good managers. And it's like it's almost like if Austin Hedges became a manager one day.
He'd probably be good. If Eric
Maybe.
Hosmer was a manager, maybe he'd be good. I mean, he was highly regarded in a clubhouse. I'm sure he's super knowledgeable, both of them.
Well,
But I don't
at
know.
least Hosmer made like an all-star team and like was a
Yeah, it was like
you
a
know
10,
catalyst of
15
a
year.
World Series team
Yeah.
for 1 year and then completely fell off the map. But still,
What about this outside the box name? Tatis Sr.
did you see the picture here of who this
What
is?
is that picture? Is that me and you combined?
It's like Gian Russell.
Thank you, John Schussel.
It's the ugliest person I've ever seen in my life.
And is that our combo?
It's both of us combined. Yes.
For
What the hell, dude?
what is happening to this channel?
I don't know.
I don't know either. While we have a moment, guys, we do want to remind you about our longtime partner here on the Wrap Up Show, our good friends over at Underdog Fantasy. They've got a limited time offer going on right now that is only going to last for so long. They're going to match your deposit, your first deposit, up to $500 if you use promo code PODSWRAP. That is PADSWRAP. Again, go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app and use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. You will get a 100% deposit match up to $500. By the way, to get the match, you only have to deposit $10 or more. You don't have to deposit 500. If you do, 500 turns into 1,000. But if you deposit $10, it turns into 20, and so on and so forth. We love the pick'ems. We've told you about these for a long time. You can combine sports. For example, tomorrow's Thursday, right? So Wemby
Yes.
tomorrow in Phoenix. If you think he's going to score
Higher.
more than 16 and a half points like Jim does, just go higher. And then you can combine that with, let's say, NFL action Thursday night, like Will Levis coming off the greatest game in NFL history. Maybe you think he's going to throw for higher than 201 and a half passing yards in Pittsburgh on Thursday night. You get that right, and $10 wager pays $30. Okay, so a simple pick 'em. You can choose from 2, 3, 4, or 5 to win in the pick'ems. Then they got drafts going on right now across all sports, including golf, Major League Baseball, the NBA, and more. The drafts are great because you can either do an auto draft or draft yourself. They take care of the rest by setting your lineup for you. There are no trades, there are no waivers. That's why we always say it's the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, for a limited time. Your deposit now matched up to $500. Your first time deposit at UnderdogFantasy.com matched up to $500 by using promo code PODSWRAP. That is PADSWRAP. All right, Jim. Off season underway, man. Welcome to your new digs, wherever you live.
It's Imperial Beach.
Imperial Beach. Do you like the place?
Place is awesome. Place is great.
Okay. Anything we need to know about it?
It's a house. Nothing really else to know. It's a place. It's a house.
But like, is your room right next to Aaron where you can you be loud? You need to be quiet. You have like good soundproofness.
So the walls are pretty thick, but like our rooms are right next to each other.
Yep.
And I have the sound panels in here, so like hopefully that helps.
Whoa. Time out. Jesse.
Bro.
Dude,
Jesse.
is this for some of the moving expenses for Jim, who just moved to IB? And he's gonna doll up his new studio that he just entered into here tonight. Don't mind me, Jesse, man.
Clapping emojis in the chat. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate you,
By the
buddy.
way, Jesse's one of there's so many of you guys that are here live on replay right now that have been here so many shows, and some of you maybe are getting here for a first time, and thank you for being here. But when I think about 1 million all-time views of the wrap-up show, I'm thinking about people like Jesse tonight, who's been here like since day one. I mean, how many times has Jesse been a part of the chat?
Oh,
hundreds,
forever. Yeah, all the time, man.
Literally hundreds.
We've done over 500 plus wrap-up shows. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Clap emojis for Jesse, please, in the chat.
Yeah. That's great. That's awesome, man.
Amazing.
You guys are the best. Yeah, we just reached 1 million, and it's pretty awesome. It's kind of crazy how like, oh, how many views do you have on your YouTube channel? 1 million,
1 million.
and we've only done like 550 shows. Like
What pisses me off is these stupid Star Wars channels that have like 1 million people watching because like Pokemon ate R2D2 and everyone wants to know why.
Pokemon ate R2D2.
I'm like, dude, we're talking about something real. Major League Baseball. These channels are talking
It is
about
real to me,
stupid,
damn it.
The gold guy and the circular robot.
E3PO.
Right. Thank you, Jesse. Seriously.
I know.
Hope you're
So
well.
there's some channels literally like he'll be sleeping and there's like
Yeah, they're just sleeping.
13,000 people watching.
They're like, iPad 7 is out. Our review, and there's like 1 million views. Like, okay, it's an iPad. I'm sure it's great. Titanium, awesome. Seriously, Jesse, thank you. Really appreciate your longtime support of the channel. Hope
Thanks,
all is
Jesse.
well. Are you still
Yeah.
in Hawaii, by the way? Comment in the live chat. I think Jesse's in Hawaii, which is super cool.
If you are, lucky you.
Yeah, exactly. Retod, thank you for your support.
Thank you.
He says Coach Hosmer insists the first base sets up on the foul side to receive throws, the first baseman, and tells people not to hit grand slams if it upsets the other team. Very good. Super. Really good super.
Also, if Eric Hosmer became like if Eric Hosmer became the manager of the Padres, I'll quit my job, I'll delete my Twitter, and you'll never hear from me ever again.
You always do things like that. Like you should,
look,
you make it so drastic. Like you don't do that because that's like a Russo thing, and then something happens, and then you look like an idiot.
But this is like this is like the
Eric
easiest
not
happening of all time. Russo's a fucking moron. First of all,
this is funny, by the way, from Retod. Don't. Any support of the channel is greatly appreciated.
Yeah,
seriously.
Don't. Yeah, we never like. Yeah, it's great. It's whatever
anything.
It's great.
Yeah, you guys are able to support. We appreciate it. Whoever's here with us live or on replay, we appreciate your support just by being here.
Yeah, you guys are the best.
Yeah,
I'm going to laugh. So like that. Could you imagine? It's just like, oh, by the way, Eric Hosmer is the mystery candidate. Hey, no. I mean, when Eric Hosmer was here, everyone loved him in the clubhouse.
That's a tough sell. I'm on the fan base. I'm sorry. You got to think about the fans. You have 3.2 million
jersey
fans.
In the card.
Yeah, jersey in the card. Managerial jersey in the card. Wolfpack, thank you. Says, are you doing a show at Fair Play this Friday, end of season show? No, our Fair Play shows and our Blind Burrow shows for the season have come to an end. We did throughout the regular season.
Those were John and Jim related.
Right.
I don't know if they would like if we just brought equipment to Fair Play and just like sat in the corner.
I don't hate it. I love Fair Play.
I love it too.
I love Fair Play, man. Good vibes at Fair Play. I was there for a college football game a few weeks ago. Yeah. It's a good spot, man.
I'm a little sad because like I am now in IB, so I'm probably now like 20 minutes away from Fair Play, and before I was like 5.
Yeah, no, you're gonna. Well, you got new spots to go learn about.
Yeah,
and
spend time spots here. Yeah,
you know. By the way, I've only seen. Wait, John Schussel says they're still paying Hosmer. May as well let him earn it. That's a fair point, but not happening. It is a fair point, though. It's interesting. By the way, I've seen like 3 to 5 movies in my life, right? But I have seen Rounders. Have you seen Rounders?
It's a great movie.
It's one of my favorite movies. It's an amazing movie.
Hey, that man, his money.
Is that not spectacular? It's such a spectacular movie. I need to see it again. Let's all get together, like everyone. The wrap-up show. And let's watch Rounders.
Watch party.
Year-end event. Let's all watch Rounders from 1998 together.
This was Preller this year. He lost all his money.
Just putting the chips on the table and just unfortunately didn't have the hand.
What the fuck?
JD Gotcha, thank you again. He wants to know if we're doing a show from UCSD where the Aztecs will play this year. I think we're probably not. Now, we are doing shows from outside Viejas Arena because we did that last year with John and Jim, and we're doing that again Monday. We need to figure out, you need a parking pass, by the way.
Yeah, buddy.
Good luck.
Am I also going to get it? You going to give me a credential too?
Do you want a credential? You should want a credential.
I do want a credential.
Okay, then I will literally send off an email after this is over. I'm serious because I got to send off an email for credentials. They're going to put
So
you
when they-
probably up high, but you'll be in the building.
And then everyone can blame me if they don't win the national championship this year.
I'm already blaming you. If anything goes wrong on Monday, it's your fault.
Oh God!
If they trail 1-0, now Fullerton's solid, man.
Trail 1-0.
You know I'm concerned about Monday. Darian Trammell, right?
You're concerned about every game, dude.
I am.
Would you say? No, I know the answer to this.
I have an Aztec wrap-up show, by the way. We have an Aztec wrap-up show. I do. Find it and subscribe. We have the Padres wrap-up show. You're here. Please subscribe. We have John and Jim. Find it.
Subscribe to everything.
So just subscribe.
Just subscribe everywhere.
What's the most channels you think someone actually has? Like, does someone have 10 channels that they actually utilize all 10? That would be hard, man. To have 10 channels would be impossible.
I bet you some do. Dude, some people have like millions of subscribers on one channel, and then their secondary channels have 45,000 subscribers. It's like, what the fuck?
That's crazy, man.
That's
crazy. Is it Talon or Talon? Thank you. You've
Talon
joined
Williams.
us before and had super chats to support the channel before. So thank you, Talon Williams, who says $5 to hear John say a cuss word. Fuck no.
Don't let Jones hear it.
I know, dude. That's why, dude, we have lost subscribers and viewers because Jim curses. They'll literally put in the comments I would love to watch the show, but Jim curses, and Jim's like, I don't care.
I don't fucking care.
Right. Should we start a Chrome and Azul wrap-up show? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah.
There's 2 years remaining until the Chrome and Azul era begins.
I know. We have time. We have time on that.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for your long-time support of the wrap-up show. Again, thanks to you guys, we have reached 1 million all-time views of the wrap-up show on YouTube. Here's to the next 10
million.
10 million, right? 1 million views, not one view. We've reached 1 million all-time views. Actually happened 2 days ago. There was some alert in the notifications that I just saw. Let me see. Where does it say it? It's on desktop or whatever, on laptop. So thank you guys for your support of the channel. We'll have much more for you throughout the course of this offseason. So if you're a Padres fan, you have to subscribe. As simple as that. We have exclusive year-round Padres content. This is in season and out of season. If you are here now live or on replay, you have to subscribe. Smash the like button for us. Please follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for your support of the channel. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks. Great way to support our work as well. Please support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor. Whatever your insurance need is, he can save you money. He's a great insurance agent. Click the link in the description down below. If you're looking to get healthier, please support our partners at Aura and their co-founder, Will, located here in Southern California. Check them out at ora.organic, plant-based nutritional products. And again, limited time offer with our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP. You will get a 100% deposit match up to $500 at underdogfantasy.com. Padres still searching for a manager. Free agency about to begin. GM meetings coming next week as well. We'll see you tomorrow on John and Jim. Please join us. San Diego Sports 760, iHeartRadio app, also on YouTube tomorrow at 3 p.m. For Jim, IB Jim. I'm
IB Jim, yes.
You're IB Jim. I'm John.
I am IB
we'll see you guys tomorrow on John and Jim. I didn't miss any here, did I? No, okay. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace out. Bye.